So at the point of when you quit your job, did you already have money coming in from freelance gigs or?
Yeah, but it wasn't consistent, you know? So I feel like back then, I didn't know what to charge. So I was like, oh, well, I make $28 an hour. Like, I guess I'll charge $28 an hour, you know? I really had no concept of financial structure. And so my whole goal was to just make what I was making in my day job.
Nice.
But then at the same time, I was like, I can always Uber. I can always Instacart. Like, I was so miserable by the time I left Skill Point that I was like, I will do anything. I don't care. And I like looked for a couple other jobs in my first like year, but it was just literally smooth sailing. And then COVID hit, and half of my clients didn't need to be on the internet before COVID. And then COVID hit, and it was like, oh, everyone needs a website. Everybody needs this, and I haven't stopped since.
Nice.
So yeah.
The reason I ask is a lot of people have a lot of different opinions on advice here of like, build up your side gig to X before quitting, or do it on the side. And then where do you think you land on that camp of like, should you go all in? Should you build it on the side? Should you figure out a good balance? Or what's your recommendation for someone starting out?
I don't recommend people have trauma. I will say for me, you know, if for those listening that don't know me, I was a runaway at 15. Nothing scares me anymore. Like, there's very few decisions in life that are permanent, like murder, right? I'm never going to go do murder, but like, that's a pretty permanent decision. And so I knew taking a leap, like I could always go do something else. So for me, it was at that time, I was literally leaving work crying every day. Jesse, we had been together, I think 2 years at that point. So we've been together 6 now. Yeah, so maybe we were together like a year and a half, and we were fighting all the time because I was so miserable from work. And I was like, I value this more than a day job. Like, let's figure this out. And so, you know, I think for me, I also don't have a lot of finances. Like, I'm not a huge spender. I don't sit here and purchase things and have extravagant things. Like, I've always been I was raised in a household to feel guilty for spending $20 on a t-shirt. Like, that's just how I was raised. And so I wasn't that concerned about like fulfilling a 6-figure corporate salary. I wasn't honestly even that afraid of losing healthcare. Like, I was like, Obamacare, I don't understand. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't that nervous. But I think for other people, everybody's situation's different.
Makes sense.
And I think that the biggest thing you have to get over is like taking the fear out of the leap, and then the rest falls into place. And so if you have a lot of expenses, maybe think about how do you cut back and like what's not necessary. But then I think the other thing is like,
what do you really want to do?
What do you want to do? But also, what work are you willing to put in? And I guess this can be my spicy take of the episode, but I think that a lot of freelancers have gotten lazy over the years and just kind of think like, oh, if my website's perfect, like shit's just going to come to me. And that's like not reality. I think there's a lot of really bad narrative out there too. That's like, only work 4 hours a week, like, or 4 hours a day. Like, you don't have to hustle. And it's like, no. Like, you guys don't understand. Like, a year ago, I was pulling all-nighters at least once a week. You have to do the work. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I think the other thing is like, you're not going to make 6 figures your first year.
100%.
And maybe not your second year, maybe not your third year. So what number are you okay with? And call it on that. Work towards that. And then anything else is like girl math. It's free money, you know? It's free money.